So today I'm going to show you how to make your own French onion soup, healthy vegan style, no oil, no wheat, no refined sugar. So a lot of people have written me and said that they really appreciate the simple and easy recipes. That's exactly what we're doing today to make this delicious French onion cabbage soup. Let's talk about what we're using to make it. Obviously, we're going to use some cabbage, which I have here. We're going to use some vegetable broth. And this is vegetable broth that I made myself. You could just go out and buy some vegetable broth. If you do, I recommend that it's organic, salt-free and oil-free. Organic, salt-free and oil-free. We're going to use a sweet onion. We're going to use some apple cider vinegar, some garlic, some cashew butter. Now, if you have nut allergies or sensitivities, you could use tahini butter instead, and that would make this completely nut-free. We're going to use some miso paste. We're going to use some black pepper, some sage, some thyme, some coconut aminos. So these are the ingredients we're going to use to make our delicious French onion cabbage soup. Now, a lot of times when people make French onion soup, they top it with cheese and croutons. We're not going to do the cheese today, but I did make some croutons, and I made these croutons out of my almond loaf. I'll have that recipe in the description. If you want to make some almond loaf and then make some of these croutons, you can do that. If you're nut-free, I will also include in the descriptions below the video my millet loaf, so you can use either or to make these delicious croutons. Now, as far as the cheese, if you wanted to give it a cheesy flavor, you could add nutritional yeast if you're someone who uses nutritional yeast, along with the other spices that I'm going to have in the recipe. In fact, I'll even put an option for nutritional yeast and tell you how much you would need to make these a cheesy croutons if you prefer to go that route. Now, if you're wondering what brand of vegetable broth, miso paste, because a lot of people with miso paste worry about the soy and the rice, I use a miso paste that does not have soy or rice. So it's totally soy and rice free. If you want to know about the brand for the broth, for the miso, or for the croutons, you can get my Healthy Vegan app. I have lots of videos there talking about different brands that are the cleanest, how to source them, and where to find them. All right, so let's start putting this together.
Okay, so we're going to start by cutting our cabbage and our onions into thin strips.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do is get our onions and our cabbage sauteed a little bit. Now, typically for this step, you would add oil to the pan, but we're doing oil-free cooking. And one of the ways that we substitute oil in a situation like this is just by using vegetable broth, which is going to get the flavors nice and saturated into your veggies anyway. So it's the perfect way to go about it.
So here we're just going to add the sliced cabbage and onions to our pan, along with some vegetable broth, and cook it until it begins to soften.
All right, so we talked about how the broth helps to replace the oil. Another way to do that is by using this cashew butter I spoke about earlier. I'm going to add this to the dish, and just like oil, it'll help carry the flavor of the spices that we're going to add in a little bit throughout the dish, as well as make the overall dish a little more creamy. So that's what the cashew butter is all about.
Now, once the nut butter is in the pan, we're just going to mix it up, and it's important to add small amounts of vegetable broth to prevent it from sticking and potentially scorching. And now we're ready to add the apple cider vinegar, coconut aminos, miso paste, and seasonings. Then we're going to get it mixed up really well and let it cook.
All right, so we've got our cabbage and our onions cooked here. We've got all our spices that are going to bring that delicious flavor to it. Now we're going to add them into our pot, add our broth, and then cook and simmer a bit to make all the flavors come out.
If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below.
Okay, so now we've got our soup done. It's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just cover it and set it aside. And now we're going to turn our attention to making these croutons, which are very simple if you already have some bread on hand. Now, I happen to have some of my HV Almond loaf bread here. But again, if you wanted a nut-free option, if you wanted this to be nut-free, you could use my Millet Loaf, or maybe you have a bread that you prefer. Either way, you're going to cut it into chunks like I did here. We're going to add some coconut aminos here. Just splash it on here, and then I'll mix it up by hand. And then I'm going to add some garlic granules here. Now, I'm salt-free, so I'm not going to add any salt here, but by all means, you could add a little salt to these. And then again, if you wanted to create that kind of cheesiness to go with your soup, you could add some nutritional yeast also if you use that. Again, there's only one brand of nutritional yeast that I'll use from time to time. I talk about it in my app. You can check it out there. All right, so now I'm just going to mix these up. All right, so that's done. And as I said, this is a very simple and easy recipe. Nothing hard about that. We're going to get these in the oven. Once they're toasted, we'll add them to our soup and everything will come together. Okay, so now everything is done and ready to put together.
So this soup is the perfect example of a meal that's both nutritious and comforting, which is perfect for a cool fall or a cold winter day.
All right, it's all done. I served it up. The only thing left is a taste test for you, of course. That is so good. If you like French onion soup, and even if you don't, you ought to try this. All right, if you're new to my channel and you're wondering how to find the recipes, look below the video and tap on the word more and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more a second time and you'll see the full recipe, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.